In today's breaking story, Donald Trump was just caught on a hot mic revealing why he fired Jimmy Kimmel. That's right, this is absolutely chilling. How's it going, everybody? Hunter Avalone here with Occupy Democrats. Welcome back to another video. Now, Donald Trump is absolutely ridiculous with his pathetic crackdown on free speech, and it's getting called out left and right.
This administration has initiated the largest assault on the First Amendment and free speech in modern history. They're making comedy illegal. Brendan Carr pressured ABC to cancel Jimmy Kimmel, and Disney cancels Jimmy Kimmel. This canceling from an administration that lectured us about cancel culture. That's why today I'm introducing a motion to subpoena Brendan Carr, to bring him in front of this committee, to stop the intimidation of private businesses and to stand up for the First Amendment. Now, it's not just Brendan Carr. Attorney General Pram Bondi is prosecuting hate speech, even though hate speech is constitutionally protected. And even though we've had so many lectures from my friends on the other side of the aisle not to prosecute hate speech. And then what about our vice president, the champion of free speech, as he told us during the campaign? The vice president is telling Americans to snitch on fellow Americans who have offensive posts and to call their employers so they can be fired. And the vice president is threatening to prosecute political organizations that he disagrees with. Look, we are Article 1 of the Constitution, not footlackeys for Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. It is time that we stand up for our constitutional role to defend the freedoms of Americans. People are tired of us just giving our power to Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. We have an obligation to our Constitution, not to Donald Trump and J.D. Vance as they ride roughshod over the First Amendment. So in the name of all those who are being censored in Washington, D.C. and around the country, in the name of all those who are being intimidated in Washington, D.C. and around the country, in the name of Americans, Republicans, Independents, and Democrats who believe in the First Amendment and free speech, I motion today to subpoena Brendan Carr and to have him explain to the American people why he's bullying private individuals and private businesses. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Pursuant.
And believe me, this should be concerning to everyone, whether you agree with Jimmy Kimmel or not, whether you think his joke was distasteful or not. One of the key tenets of fascism is literally censorship, censoring opposition and criticism. And now Trump was just caught on hot mic revealing why he fired Jimmy Kimmel. That's right, take a look at today's top story. Tonight, President Trump has once again revealed just how far he is willing to go in his war on free speech. In newly surfaced hot mic audio, Trump can be heard lashing out at negative coverage.
Look, that's something that should be talked about for licensing too. When you have a network and you have evening shows and all they do is hit Trump, that's all they do. If you go back, I guess they haven't had a conservative on in years or something, somebody said. But when you go back and take a look, all they do is hit Trump. They're licensed. They're not allowed to do that. They're an arm of the Democrat Party. Thank you, everybody.
That is not just venting, it is the President of the United States suggesting that private networks are not allowed to criticize him. It's the clearest sign yet that Trump and his allies under Project 2025 want to weaponize government power to muzzle dissent. The pattern is undeniable. ABC yanked Jimmy Kimmel indefinitely after he mocked Trump. CBS canceled Stephen Colbert just as a merger sailed through Trump's FCC. Now Trump is saying networks simply cannot be permitted to air negative coverage. Even governors are stepping in to sound the alarm. Pennsylvania's Democratic Governor Josh Shapiro blasted Trump's action.
I think what the president is doing, both getting people fired for speech and chilling other speech, undermines our constitutional rights, our fundamental freedoms, and is really, really dangerous for this country. And I'll say another thing. it's hypocritical as well. Remember, he represents a party that for decades has cloaked itself in the blanket of freedom and claimed they were for free speech, said that they were going to stand up
and they were
for
being
First
silenced.
Amendment rights.
They were being
That
silenced.
They were being silenced.
Yeah.
And now look at what they're doing. They're trying to silence others. They're trying to make it more difficult for people to speak if that speech that they're engaged in is critical of this administration.
The bottom line is this: when a president claims networks aren't allowed to criticize him, when comedians are pushed off the air, and when governors warn that free speech itself is being undermined, this is no longer about late-night television. It's about whether Americans will still have the right to speak truth to power without fear of retaliation. Thanks so much for watching. Please click that like button and subscribe to Occupy Democrats so that you can stay informed and help us stop Donald Trump.